7 reasons why you shouldn't travel to Orlando theme parks in 2026. I want to welcome you. My name is Monica and I'm a millennial traveler. I love giving travel advice and the best tips to save you money before you start. And I want to clarify something. I love theme parks. I go several times a year every year. I know them quite well and I honestly think they are one of the best attractions that exist in the world. Disney Universal, they are incredible. Let it be said that in 2026, in my opinion, is not a good time to visit the parks, and in this video I tell you why. First, the price increase. Since October 2025, prices have risen once again. At Merry Kingdom, for example, one-day tickets went from $359 per person to more than $200 per day per person in high season. And not even Animal Kingdom is less than $150 for the price of a day anymore. And taking into account that I'm a resident of Florida, which should be even cheaper than for other people who are not residents of Florida, the Park Hopper, which is the ticket that allows you to skip and visit several parks on the same day as in 2023, it cost around $205 per person. By the end of 2025, it was costing $275 or more per person depending on the day of the week. For example, we visited on a Monday and still paid $275 per person. The Disney Genie Plus also went up from about $123 per person to about $135 per person, and the individual lining lines went up as well. Rides that were previously $10 went up to $15, and the $20 went up to $35 per ride per person. The most popular, depending on demand, Universal Studios wasn't far behind either. The Express Pass for 2 parks, which in 2023 could cost about $147 per person, today can reach almost $300 per person on a weekend. That is, the cost of Vital Lines has practically doubled. Second point, the crowds. Until 2024, predicting crowds was relatively easy. The trick was to go during the week, avoid school holidays, or stay at Universal's premier hotels for unlimited express fees. But now there's no way to predict crowds. The parks fill up practically all year round, and many of the strategies that used to work today are completely obsolete. This got worse with Epic Universe, the opening of the newest park in Universe. Visually, it is spectacular, but it is also a relatively small park. It has only 12 rides in total, of which 4 are for very young children, and one of them is too intense for many people, which is Stardust Race. That really leaves about 7 installments for most visitors, which means huge lines for thousands and thousands of people, around 20,000 people a day, but with capacity for up to 40,000 people if necessary. For such a small park, the same thing is happening at Disney parks. Lately, it is full, always at all times, with rides waiting more than 50 minutes. Third, many people are choosing not to travel internationally and prefer to tour within the United States, which is pushing even more people to Orlando's parks. Fourth and most important, the 2026 World Cup between June 15 and July 18, 2026. Several games will be played in Miami. It is expected that between 600,000 and 1,000 visitors just to see that event, and Miami is only 3 hours from Orlando. So many tourists will take the opportunity to vibrate Disney Universal during the same trip. This can mean queues of more than 1 hour for virtually all attractions, much more expensive hotels, and also higher prices on rental cars due to high demand. Fifth, Halloween Horror Nights. Between the end of August and October comes Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, the most famous Halloween event. I've been going for several years and it's spectacular. Houses of terror, live actors, and an amazing production unfolded throughout the parka. They meticulously measure every detail. This is held at Universal Studio every year, and also every year they fill up more and more, even with Express Pass. You might find yourself waiting over 80 minutes at home, which can dampen the excitement unless you opt for a VIP experience. As the calendar approaches late November through December, with major holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, the parks become incredibly crowded and nearly impossible to enjoy due to overwhelming attendance. Especially if it's your first time. My recommendation, don't go to the parks in 2026. Expect better options for 2027. After all these points, we can conclude, and believe me when I tell you, since I am a person who goes very frequently to the Universal, and Disney World parks in Orlando that you do not want to wait more than 1 hour for all the rides under the sun. Trust me, you don't want that to be your vacation. The parks are so worth it whether you have children or not, but certainly having a bad experience is not worth it. And 2026, unfortunately, is not a good year to visit these parks. There are many more phenomenal, spectacular things you can do in the United States if you are spending your vacation in the United States. But visiting the parks is definitely not an option for 2026. Did you plan to visit the Disney Universal Parks in 2026? I invite you to subscribe and share for more travel tips and enjoy them to the fullest. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.